So let's talk about what happens when you get to the end of your rope. I mean, that moment where you feel like you have absolutely, positively nothing left to give.
You know that feeling when you've really done everything? You've stretched every last penny, put on a brave face for everyone, you've worked till you can't work anymore, but on the inside, you are just completely spent. And you try to look ahead, right? But where you're supposed to see possibilities, all you see is a brick wall. The problems don't stop, but the opportunities sure seem to have. And that feeling of being stuck, wow, it's just heavy. And maybe you've had that quiet moment, when it's just you and you've actually whispered it, maybe just to yourself, I don't have anything left. No more strength, no more hope, maybe not even much faith. Well, if any of that is hitting home for you, you need to know you're not alone in that feeling. And today, we're gonna look at a story about a woman who was standing in that exact same spot. Okay, so let's dive into what I call the last meal moment. This is where we get a really raw, unfiltered look at just how desperate things were for her. So, the woman we're talking about is known as the widow of Zarephath. And here's the thing you've got to remember. Before any miracle happened, before she became this figure in an incredible story, she was just a mom who was literally on her last day of hope. I mean, just look at her situation. This wasn't just a bad week. A devastating famine had just wrecked the land. Her pantry, well, it was down to a single handful of flour and a tiny bit of oil. There was no savings, no emergency plan, no family coming to the rescue, nothing. And this is the part that just guts you. She had just enough for one final meal. Can you even imagine that? A mother gathering a few sticks for a fire, knowing that she was about to cook the very last food her child would ever eat. That was her reality. But then, right there at rock bottom, something completely unexpected happens. And that brings us to our next part, an unexpected encounter. Out of nowhere, this man appears. He's a prophet. His name is Elijah. And he asks her for a drink of water, which in a famine is a big ask. But then he asks for bread, the very thing he can see she's about to make with the last little bit she has in the world. And her response, wow, it is just so brutally honest. This isn't just her saying, sorry, I can't help. This is a confession. She's laying it all bare. She's basically saying, you're asking me for food? I'm literally preparing to die. And this is where everything collides. This is the heart of the whole story because what comes next is a collision of choices. She's faced with an impossible decision. First, Elijah says something that just makes no sense at all in that moment. He looks at this woman who's planning her death and says, don't be afraid. I mean, seriously, how can you not be afraid when you're staring starvation in the face? And then he drops this absolutely wild promise on her. He tells her, if you make me a small cake first from what you have, your jar of flour will not run out and your jug of oil won't go dry. So just picture it. She's standing there with this choice. It's so clear. Option 1, hold on tightly. Every survival instinct is screaming, protect what little you have left. Option 2, trust the promise. Give away the last of your food based on the word of a stranger, even when it makes absolutely zero logical sense. So what does she do? Well, that brings us to the miracle of enough and the outcome of her incredible, impossible choice. In this just unbelievable act of faith, she does it. She makes him the bread first, and at the end of that first day, she goes to her jar, and there was enough. You can just imagine her waking up the next morning, right? Thinking, was that real? Was it a fluke? But she goes back to the jar, and yep, there was enough. And it just kept happening. The story tells us this went on for the entire famine. Day after day after day, there was always enough. And this is so important to get. The miracle wasn't a lottery win. Her pantry didn't suddenly overflow with food. It was a miracle of enough, just what she needed for that day. It was a daily provision that asked for daily trust. So, what does this all mean for us right now? That's what this last part is all about, going from breaking to breakthrough. It's about finding hope right in the middle of the emptiness. You see, what this story shows us so clearly is that help doesn't always wait for everything to be fixed. So often, it shows up right in the middle of the chaos, in the middle of the lack, when we feel the most helpless. And you know, what she really got was so much more than just flour and oil. She got the unshakable knowledge that God saw her in her darkest moment. She learned that He provides, and she felt that He was present with her. That was the real blessing.
Because that's the thing about the breaking point, isn't it? When every other safety net, every backup plan, every bit of our own strength is gone, you're finally left with the one thing that can't be taken away. And you realize, sometimes for the very first time, that He is enough. So I'm just gonna leave you with this thought. What if that place where you feel like you have absolutely nothing left isn't the end of your story? What if your breaking point is actually your turning point?